Ugh. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Double Kick Bonus Level. Sorry, it's been 5 years since I recorded this pod with Shots. We started doing the MCU tier list ranking, and well, I mean, you saw half the world got obliterated, blown to smithereens. Um, I've been trying to think of how I would continue this tier ranking without shots, and honestly, it feels weird. I've started this video a couple times. Eh, It's just it's kind of demoralizing. You know what I mean? So today I'm going to talk about Dr. Pepper Zero Cherry. It's the nectar of the gods. If you're not aware, my favorite drink in sorry, I for those audio listeners, I was holding up the can to show everybody, and something in my background caught my eye. Has the answer been in front of me the whole time? Hang on. I have the Infinity Gauntlet here. Can I just put that? No, no. We know if I put this on, I'll die. And then we still can't record this podcast. So how maybe maybe we'll cheese the system a little bit. I have the time stone, and we're not like Marvel where we make complicated rules about time travel. Nobody knows how time travel works here. This is the real world. So I'm going to use this time stone to try and bring shots back. Let's see if it works. We just have to believe. Oh my god.
What
Oh my
the
god, it works. Incredible.
what?
Absolutely incredible.
What
Shots.
works? What
Well,
happened?
I'm looking at my watch, and it's 5 years ago again.
What?
Interesting. You know what? You know what? Forget it. It's all right. Shots. We're back. We're talking about the MCU. We're on the second part. Let's get into it, buddy. All right, shots. We're back. We're both here, which is great. We left off last episode talking about Avengers Infinity War. We are moving on now. We have so in between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, there was that year period where Marvel was still releasing like 3 movies a year. Um, and so the next movie that's on our list is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Um, Shots, what are your thoughts on this movie? What do you got?
You know,
I do know. I
yeah,
certainly do know.
so it's definitely not the worst movie ever, right?
No.
But coming right off of Infinity War, it's just like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. I mean, I get it. They just spent however much money making this game and presumably the next one to follow
Sure,
it up. I can see
sure.
why they kind of like cut back. This is like a filler movie, if you will.
It's very filler movie. Um,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. uh, Honestly, the only takeaway I can really get from it is I don't even remember his name, but like the professor in it, the main
Oh,
dude.
yeah. The Lawrence Fishburne character.
Yeah, his
Mhm.
daughter, like, I don't even
Yeah, she's
remember.
Ghost.
She's
She's,
ghosts
like, dying from the same thing
because she's like
Janet
phasing
Van
out of the
Dyne is
world.
dying from.
Is
Quantum.
she?
This is so This
Ah,
movie's where the joke of like, "Oh, we're saying quantum all the time," and that kind of led to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Um, and it's one of those things where, like, I remember seeing this movie with Kim and it constantly talking about like, "Oh, don't go quantum. You don't wanna go quantum," and she's like, "They're gonna go quantum.
they're
That's
gonna go
that's the
quantum.
solution." And, very meh, very meh
Yeah.
to me.
I mean,
It's not
gosh,
awful, it's
it's not
not.
awful. It had funny jokes.
It's super forgettable, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think we kind of said it with the first movie.
Mhm.
Ant-Man is kind of like that one genre that just kind of self-contained a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was a pretty mid sequel, unfortunately. The
for
only
sure.
thing that really mattered was the end scene credit
Yeah, and, like, the introduction of the Wasp, like, her getting the suit and everything.
and the Quantumanium, I guess, if you even really want to go that
Uh,
far.
Not really. Um,
But yeah,
I I think this movie should be bottom C tier, top of D tier.
that's generous, I feel. But
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll we'll
I
go we'll go top
yeah,
D tier here.
yeah,
Okay. We'll just move on.
yeah.
So now Captain Marvel.
Now, this is a movie I feel like a lot of people did not like. And it came out at a poor time with COVID and everything kind of ramping up, right?
No,
2019?
no, no. Uh
Wasn't it like right when it started?
no, I mean Endgame comes out in 2019. This is like 2018.
This
This
is
is
2019.
what, Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
But I mean, there was no COVID yet. Like
Okay.
COVID was not a concern yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
I honestly I think the problem with Captain Marvel is I think you're introducing a very powerful character into the MCU. And to be honest, there was a lot of like sexism around this movie.
Yeah.
This was coming out like not long after Wonder Woman, and like you start to see more like female led superhero movies, and a section of the fan base was very like, ew, no. And this whole movie, like a lot of this movie talks about sexism in general. Like it's part of the topic of the movie. And people just didn't like it because sexism reasons, you know what I mean? Um,
Hear me out
yeah,
though. I don't think it was a bad movie.
I don't think it was a bad movie. You know, I thought it was fine. Like I thought it
Yeah.
was a decent Marvel movie. Um, I like I think the problem with Captain Marvel as a character is like I think she works much better in like a group dynamic. Um, but like on her own sometimes like it's kind of very meh. It She almost has like I remember early on, like I used to complain about like Superman and how like Superman, like the problem with him was that he didn't have like a lot of like flaws. Captain Marvel is kind of similar, where like everything, like she has so much power that it's almost too much, and there's no like real weakness to her.
Yeah, I thought her weakness was just her character.
What do you
Like,
mean?
because she, in we'll talk about it more in the second one, but like, her forgetting her past and everything and kind of being like reluctant
Sure.
to work with people and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she definitely has to go through like some character growth throughout the movie. Um, this is another like I think this whole era of the MCU is very like meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, that being said,
It's still one of the highest selling movies, I think, though.
yeah, this movie did like crazy good numbers at the box office.
Yeah. It's like one of the top 5, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's weird because you do have that subset of audience who like we're seeing this movie and we're like, oh, I hate it. Ugh. I will say,
Mhm.
This movie commits an atrocity in the MCU, and it's that the mystery behind Nick Fury's eye being missing is from the cat
It was kind of
who
funny.
it was kind of funny. Okay, that doesn't justify, like, a 10-year buildup to this reveal, and, "Oh, the cat scratched it, and it's gone now." Boo. Boo that. Because
Are you
I remember
kidding me?
I remember oh my god, Terry, I have to edit that out. I remember I remember, there was one point where someone asked Nick Fury, like, what happened to his eye, and he said or no, he said something along the lines of, "The last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye."
Yeah.
And we were talking about a cat?
You were talking about a cat?
Give me a break. That was ridiculous. Overall, though, like I said, I think this movie's fine. I
I'm
I
cool
would
with,
it being
like, bottom B on this one.
I think it's better than Ant-Man. I think we can put it above Ant-Man,
In
in my
between
opinion.
Avengers.
Yeah. You cool with that?
Yeah, it's chill.
Alright.
It's chill.
That's chill, that's chill. Alright.
Uh, and the chill is over because 'cause we're
The
so
chill
back.
is over. Well, let's talk about that. Avengers
Oh,
Endgame. Okay. So, obviously, we talked about it with Infinity War, but, like, Endgame truly is, like, the culmination of all of the MCU up to this point,
yeah.
right? You have storylines from Guardians of the Galaxy coming to fruition. You have, you know, Iron Man, Captain America, like their storylines are reaching their climax. And like this movie truly it is so lucky. So the only reason I remembered that COVID wasn't a thing yet is because Marvel is so lucky that COVID didn't happen until after Endgame came out.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that would ruin everything for them. That would absolutely ruin everything for them. Um,
Terrible.
I remember going to see this in theaters. We went as a big group,
I think so, yeah.
and this is one of those movies, and we'll talk about this again. And I think you and I, from here on out, might start disagreeing on stuff a little more. But I think this is a really good movie to see in theaters. When you watch it at home, I think it's a little less than, we'll say.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to say something.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference being, I think there are certain moments, and again, we'll talk about this with. There's another movie specifically I'm thinking about when I say this. There are certain moments in this film that like were made for like a movie audience, and when you're watching it on TV, it feels a little clunky, just because you're not having this big giant movie theater reaction. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I made a joke about it in our little intro. I hate the way MCU time travel works. I think they made it overcomplicated. And like obviously the idea was if we're going to travel back in time, we have to make it so that the events that have already happened in the MCU, we're not saying they never happened. We're saying that like they still happen and now we're creating like a branch timeline.
Yeah.
But like the MCU has gone back and like messed with its own rules on time travel since then, and it's just I don't know.
Have they?
It um I think specifically in this movie later on, like the way Hulk explains how time travel works in like the way they go back in time and like get the other Infinity Stones and stuff like that, it doesn't really work that way. And like so you have at the end of the movie, Steve Rogers goes back to like live his life with Peggy and so either he's living in this same timeline and uh he and Peggy live this happy life and everything, or he's somehow into a branch timeline and then he's able to come back at the end of the movie. Like it that's confusing, I think.
I think that's kind of, I'm not really sure if you want to talk about it now, but
Mm.
like that's kind of a point with the upcoming movie that Steve kind of screwed a lot of things up by doing that.
What upcoming movie?
Uh, Doomsday and Secret Wars. That's supposed to be a big plot point.
Oh, is it?
That yeah, that because of Steve's time traveling, that he basically, from what I've seen from the leaks, is that he created the original anomaly, and everything that happened is kind of his fault.
Interesting. I don't so this is another thing where I'm like, you can't convince me that like Marvel meant to do that. I think it was just like a retcon that they're making now.
It could be. I mean, I don't
I
know.
mean I mean fine. That's fine.
I mean, if this was 10
Um
years ago, I would agree with you, but nowadays, I don't know. It could be intentional.
when they made Endgame, you think it was intentional though? What I'm saying.
I mean, that was only 5 years ago,
I
6 years
know,
ago.
but it so I mean, you can say literally since Endgame, you can tell that Marvel's like changed their direction. I mean, literally, we know Doomsday wasn't even supposed to be a thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Kang, poor Kang.
We'll talk about that. But
Um,
um ho- honestly, I think a big thing for me is like I said, in theaters, this was great. Now, I don't know how many times I since this movie came out, I've rewatched it once because it's over 3 hours long, and I
yeah,
think it's too long of a movie. I think they certainly could have cut some stuff out of this to kinda trim it up.
either that or make it a two-parter,
Sure, sure. That
which
being
would have been
said,
crazy.
right. Where do we wanna go?
I don't think I mean, I do agree with you. I don't think it was as good as Infinity War, but I do think it was just very nice seeing everything kinda come tied up together.
For
It's like you
sure.
said, it was the plot points of all the OG Avengers basically, and,
Mhm.
like, starting, which we'll talk about with the next movie, like, the Avengers of the next generation.
Right.
Um,
The
I don't
new
think it's
Avengers.
S,
No. No, I don't think
but
it's that.
definitely, like, high or mid A, at least.
I'm fine with that.
What do you think?
Um,
You wanna do so what we got? Spider-Man,
Captain America,
Guardians,
First
both
Avenger,
Guardians,
Guardians, yeah. Um, I
maybe, like,
think
between Spider-Man and Cap? What do you wanna do in the front?
I was thinking a little lower than that personally.
Really?
Yeah, because the way I'm looking at this list is like everything at the front is like I'd rather watch this movie than this movie. You know what I mean? And I think I'd rather watch the Guardians movies than Endgame again, just because of like the length of time.
Uh-huh.
So I'd be inclined to put it in between Guardians and Iron Man.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
It's a shame.
Do you want to split the difference? We'll go in between the Guardians movies.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right, I'm cool with that. Okay,
Alright. Bring in my boy.
Spider-Man: Far From Home. Shots
Swing it in.
swinging in. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of talk in the online community, and we talked about this with the first Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. People don't like this movie.
I don't know
People
why.
I don't know why. Like,
It's so
people get
good.
mad because it's not set in New York, and I'm like,
Maybe?
"Okay,
A lot of the
if
things
that's
I've heard are, like, them complaining about him, like, wanting to go on vacation, like, he wasn't just dead for 5 years.
well, not only that, but, like, okay, your complaint is that Spider-Man shouldn't leave New York. I mean, A, there are plenty of times where Spider-Man leaves New York in the comics,
Oh
but
my god.
B, it I don't wanna say, "Is it that big a deal?" Because I know people
It
like,
is for people.
Spider-Man's a New Yorker, right, like, he represents New York for a lot of people. But at the same time, I'm like, "We can't have one movie outside of New York?"
Right,
Like
and, like, he was in space the last 2 movies, like
right, right.
like, what are we talking about?
Plus, I don't know about you, but, like, when they started showing the trailers for this and, like, Mysterio was the villain, I was like,
Oh, we're
"Oh
so back.
boy." Yeah, like, I I love Mysterio. He's awesome.
He is. Clinton
Um,
Beck.
I I think Mysterio is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains just because like you can do so much with Mysterio, and this movie really captures like visually like all the ways that like he messes with Spider-Man's mind and everything. Like you remember that scene where he he's like digging up the grave of Iron Man and like zombie
Oh,
Iron Man's like crawling
yeah.
towards Peter and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That whole
That's
sequence is just ridiculous.
yeah.
When a train, like, comes at him and he falls through himself.
Mhm, mhm. That's
Man,
everything you want in, like, a Mysterio movie.
yeah. What do you think about him being, like, a pseudo Iron Man villain?
I mean, so, like, here's the thing. People complained about that too,
I
because,
know.
again, people didn't like that, like, Spider-Man's so related to Iron Man.
He
In
can't have
this universe, he is, and, like, people complained we'll talk about it later, but, like, that certain things in the MCU don't relate back to the rest of the MCU. This is literally Spider-Man relating back to the rest of the MCU. This
right.
is in relation to Iron Man. What are you complaining about?
And
Like,
again,
you can't have it both ways.
I said last time, I think it's okay, like, that this is not the comics. It's okay to have its
Right.
own thing,
Yeah. This Spider-Man has, like, deep relationships with Iron Man, and,
and
like,
that's just
this
how it is.
is yeah, and that's just how it is.
Um,
Again, I think the one thing the MCU from here on out has a little history of kind of messing with the character of Nick Fury because in this movie, he's ridiculous and he's not he's not smart to the point where like the end credit scene, they have to show that like, hey, this isn't actually Nick Fury, this is a Skrull.
which is kinda
And
smart.
sure, it explains why he's kind of dumb in this movie.
Yeah, because no one is Nick Fury besides Nick Fury.
Right. Um,
I also
but
wanna, like, talk about too before, like, we get too far gone. I really like the elements that this in specifically the beginning before he leaves for vacation, like,
mhm.
Peter dealing with the passing of Tony
Oh, sure.
and kinda having, like, that mantle thrusted upon him because
Yeah.
everybody expects him to be the next Iron Man, more or less,
Mhm.
the next leader of the Avengers, which is
Yeah.
also, like, the whole plot point with him getting the glasses and Quentin
Mhm.
coming after him.
Well, and you have so, like, in the MCU, there's literally a new Captain America at this point. Sam
Yeah,
Wilson, like, has been given the shield from, uh, Steve Rogers, so people are looking like, "Okay, well, if we have a new Captain America, who's the new Tony Stark?" And so they look at Spider-Man and, Spider-Man and I think this movie does a really good job in kind of dealing with grief where there's that scene with Happy when they're on the plane and Happy is like, "Hey bud, like you're trying to live up to like what Tony was at the end especially and like Tony couldn't live up to that."
yeah, he
Like the
killed him.
sacrifice that um Tony Stark makes at the end of Avengers Endgame is like it's the most like um selfless thing a person could do and there's no way a person could live up to that. So like you just have to be your own person,
Right,
and
and
so
then you get that,
Spider-Man
like
has to learn that lesson.
you get that beautiful scene afterwards where he's listening to AC/DC, building
Mhm.
his, new suit, and Happy's just like, "There he is."
He is like him,
He is like
right?
Tony, you know?
Um, yeah, we're technically out of time, but I'll keep going for another minute. I really
Yeah.
like the red and black suit. I
Oh,
think it's different. I think it's dope.
it's one of my favorites besides, like, the final swing suit, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
and
I this is the only fight in any Spider-Man movie that the final fight is in the daytime.
really?
Fun fact. Fun fact.
Huh.
Yeah.
And it's also my favorite scene too because he he kinda copies Thor and Captain America and everybody with, the
Oh yeah, when he
impromptu
has
shield
the yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
we get
Mhm.
one of the best, if not best, spider sense scenes in
Ooh,
the
yeah.
archway.
Yeah,
followed by
when
him just cold smoking, grabbing the gun without looking. Bro,
you
that
can't
that is
trick
my
me
Spider-Man.
anymore.
That
Yeah,
is my Spider-Man. The Peter
yeah.
Tingle, stupid, but
Stupid name,
I'm
but I
hoping they
love it.
they retcon that soon.
Yeah. Where do you wanna throw this, buddy?
Dude, it's definitely better than the first one in my opinion.
I agree.
So I feel like that means S, right? Or do you wanna put it in A?
I'm
I think A
cool with
is kinda
going S
crowded.
tier. I'm kinda cool with going S tier. I'll go below Black Panther.
Yeah, so the bottom of S.
Yeah, I think
I'm cool
that's
with that.
fine. I think that makes sense.
Good movie. I
Good
just
movie.
maybe we have bad tastes.
You know what? Like I said, we're gonna do a whole Spider-Man episode one day, and we're just gonna go through our personal rankings of Spider-Man, and we'll talk more about this
Alright.
and how the internet somehow hates it. But for now, Black Widow.
The movie that came too late.
The movie can't. You know what? I've seen this take 1,000 times, but it's accurate. This is a COVID movie.
Yes.
This movie came out, I think, direct to Disney Plus.
I was gonna say, I was, like, basically direct to TV, like, old school DVD.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson sued Marvel over that because she
Yeah,
was
because
supposed
she
to get
didn't
like
get
a cut of the profits.
right, she didn't get the money. Yep, yep, yep.
Right.
It was also her first movie directing, so that was a slap in the
Did she
face.
direct this movie?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
she was, like, heavily into it.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's the
I
problem. I like this movie.
I was about to say, hear me out, I like this movie.
I like it. I think there are a couple things that are pretty silly, and I know you and I have talked about that before. I hate
The
what they do
ending?
to Taskmaster in this movie.
Oh, yeah, they butchered Taskmaster. Unfortunate.
The entire MCU does. But, yeah, like, at the end where she or is it the beginning where she jumps out of the thing and she just, like, lives? She just, like,
Oh, the very well, there's a
flies
couple
through
scenes.
different, like, space degree? Yeah.
Yeah, there's,
That was dumb. That was dumb. She's a person. She shouldn't be able to do that. Like, that's stupid.
and, like, you could argue because I know in the comics, she's basically a super soldier, but
I know.
that's never said in the movies, right?
No. No, they
She's
never established that in any sort of canon. She's just a person here.
and the same thing happens to Yelena at the end with the jet engine exploding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to mention how silly it looks.
Mhm. Now, this movie, like you said, it introduces Florence Pugh's Yelena. It
So
introduces
so
David
good.
Harbour's Red Guardian.
So good.
I really like the family dynamic that they have
Yeah.
between the three of them. That's really cool. Um, I'm trying to remember. To be honest, shots. I think a big problem with this movie is like I don't remember it too well
Okay.
because it like dealt with like Black Widow going back to her roots and like dealing with like the repercussions of like the Red Room, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like I think timeline wise, it's like
Mm.
right before she disappears with Captain America, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because we
Because
see her dye her hair.
in honor of Yelena,
Right.
right? Um, honestly, I think Marvel should have done like a trilogy of Black Widow movies. I think one of them should have been like Black Widow and Hawkeye. Like they get their own movie
Yeah.
where they're out like doing their adventures. You could do the whatever. What do they reference in
Budapest.
Avengers? Budapest. Show Budapest. Show what happened in Budapest.
And like even freaking Yelena mentions Budapest. And you're like, can we stop
Right.
talking about Budapest if we're not gonna show Budapest?
Yeah. Right.
And like you're correct. This should she deserved she's the only one I think out of the original, if you don't want to count the Hulk because rights and all that. But to
Mhm.
not get their own trilogy,
Well,
this could have been
Hawkeye.
a good like third movie.
Yeah, yeah. This would have been a fine way to cap off her character. Like you said, it's kind of too little, too late at this point.
Yeah. But we did get
And
Yelena, and she's amazing.
sure, sure.
She's a
And
great
you know,
replacement.
I was gonna say, this is another like this is a legacy character that's now carrying on the mantle. We're seeing this a lot in the
Yeah,
MCU post
the trend.
Endgame. But yeah, I think this is fine. You know what I mean? I don't know about you. I think this is like a C tier, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was
Um,
thinking like bottom of B or like somewhere in a C, but again,
yeah,
I do like it. It's just I don't know.
I know. I think I'm gonna put this right under Iron Man 2, and then, you know, the beginning of her time in the MCU and the end of her time in the MCU right next to each other. A little poetic.
Yikes. Man, it's like
Shang-Chi and the Legend
back.
of the Ten Rings.
We're so back. This was a banger.
So, okay. I I'm glad that I'm gonna pause talking about the movie really quick because I want to talk about you keep saying and we're so back, right? You've said it like 3 times.
Sure.
And here's the thing. I'm very interested. I want to hear your thoughts really quick on this. A little 5-minute break from talking about the movies. So people talk about how the MCU falls off after Endgame, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
general sort of consensus thing. You and other people I've heard, you're not the only one, but people keep being like, "Oh, we're so back now." I want like a definitive like where did the MCU fall off? Where are we back? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Cuz they can't keep coming back and leaving again. Like, what do you think?
All right. Let me take a look. So
Mhm.
we agreed last time, right? Infinity War was probably like the precipice, like the best
Sure.
there was.
Sure.
And I guess there's an argument that Endgame is like right there with it too, because it's
Right.
technically the sequel.
Mhm.
Whatever. If I'm being honest,
Mhm.
if you if you disclude Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Like I said,
Yeah.
I think Captain Marvel wasn't a bad movie.
Mhm.
I already said we both said that Far From Home was good. It was really good.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, we haven't talked about any of them, but and we're gonna at some point, I think. But like a lot of the shows that came out, like we skipped WandaVision, Falcon,
Yeah.
Loki,
Right.
some of
Right.
the best like lore and like
Storytelling.
characterization that
Yeah.
we've seen.
Mhm.
Um, and there's a big debate too that Disney Plus kind of has killed the MCU because you know
'Cause it was just about churning out content constantly, less
that
focused on, like, telling good stories and just telling more stories in the MCU.
and like people will be like, oh well, if the movie's going to come out to Disney Plus, I'm just not going to go see it. And so
I mean,
that too,
sure.
like
Like, I
all.
I think streaming services in general have killed a good chunk of the movie theater going experience for sure,
Mhm.
especially
Um,
post-COVID.
and like okay, so like Black Widow, like we just said, I think it had the idea of being a good movie, but just because of the fact that it came out as late as it did, or not even the fact that it came out late, it's just the fact that it was treated as an end cap movie, but it was the first movie.
Yeah.
There's a movie in here that I know that you don't like, but I do, but I don't think it's bad. We get more peak, probably the biggest hype movie since Infinity War and Game. I honestly don't think the MCU tanked as bad as people make it out to seem. I
So
think go ahead. Go ahead.
so I was gonna say, in general, I agree with you, but I think you and I are gonna disagree on, like, I think the MCU, I think, has always had a history of, like, releasing really good movie and then releasing pretty meh movie. So, like, for people to say it, like, completely fell off, like, yes, like, if you're talking about the shows, yeah, you can say there's a dip in quality in the shows, but the shows aren't getting as big of budgets as the movies are. The shows are about more niche characters and just for, like, the more, like, hardcore MCU fans, but, like, I think the movies in general, like, I don't think they ever really, like, fall off. I think they just kind of continue the same trend you've always kind of seen in the
Yeah.
MCU. Because like you said, it literally it goes good movie, bad movie, good movie, good movie. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know.
I think what people don't like is the fact that, and this was a huge issue with Phase 4 and kinda, mostly Phase 4. They kinda ironed it out in Phase 5, but, like, there's no interconnectivity. Like, they're trying to do everything at once leading up to some crazy, because
Yeah.
this is we're going into the multiverse
Right.
with this
Right.
phase, and they're like all these movies, their end credits or mid credits or whatever, they're like trying to build up to like a Thanos level threat within the span of what do we have, a year and a half,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't know, it felt like, well, what was the whole point of this movie, and how does this relate to anything that's happening?
Right.
But if you
Yeah.
take that out, like I feel like the movies are fine.
I agree. I think the movies do a good job in general of maintaining what the MCU had. I think the biggest problem is, like you said, after Thanos is done, after he's not the villain anymore, we now have to build up to like our next big villain. And I think the MCU maybe tried to do it a little too fast after Thanos, just to kind of keep people coming to the because like Endgame is one of the biggest movies ever, right?
Yeah,
And so they're trying to keep that success consistent, but like it only was as big as it was because it was this big culmination in like a 10-year long thing.
yeah,
And they just kind of tried to skip to the end, and you can't really do that.
I agree.
But
And a lot of these movies too are like lore building movies.
sure,
Like,
sure. Yeah, you're setting the seeds for the next big thing.
yeah.
And so you have to have a lot more exposition and a lot more world building and
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
And the reason I say I've been saying we're so backalized because like these movies are pretty fire. It's just like who's Shang-Chi? Do we know who this person is?
Right.
Like, why do I care about this person? You
Yeah.
don't. Not yet, but like the movie's still good,
Yeah, right.
you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. We're gonna take a quick little break, and then we'll come back to continue talking about some MCU Phase 4 fun? Question mark.
Eh, question mark, question mark.
And we're so back. Shots. Let's talk some Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, my guy.
Get your kung fu on.
Let's do it. I in terms of like I've never heard of this character. Let me go see a movie. This is a very fun movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, just not even, like, connected to the MCU. I mean, like, just in general, this movie was very fun. I thought, like, the action sequences were really cool. I think it's, like, one of the opening scenes where, like, they're in the trolley car in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and they have that, like, fighting scene is just so cool, so different.
It's
Um,
very like reminiscent to like early MCU, like Winter Soldier.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
it even kind of like to me rivaled like some of the combat you saw like in the old Netflix shows with Daredevil.
Mhm. I
Very good.
think I think the choreography for the fights was very intentional the whole time. Um, that being said, this is another movie where I kind of forget a good chunk of the plot. I know like his dad is the villain of this movie. He is
His,
like the original owner of the rings,
and he's
right?
the real Mandarin.
He is the real Mandarin.
He's the Mandarin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I
He
forgot about
and
that.
he actually has the Mandarin held captive in his basement because he
The
didn't
fake one.
yeah, because he didn't appreciate being copied.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I remember the plot pretty well if you want like a little summary.
Okay. Yeah, I know this movie starts off with Shang-Chi and the girl, I forget her name, but she's played by Aquafina.
Yeah,
Um, and like I said, they're just kind of going about their lives where Shang-Chi he like hears back from his dad, right? Am I
he's like a
getting it right?
valet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's like a valet. Um, and he's just kind of like middling around his life. He doesn't really have like a direction. And
I think he
what
just kinda gets jumped. I think
yeah.
people just come after him because of his lineage,
Right.
I
Right.
believe, and he ends
So
up going
then
to his dad.
yeah. And that's where he gets the 10 rings, right?
Well, no. I don't know if does he? I don't know. Actually, I forget. He might have stole it from him because I know
Yeah.
there's a whole scene where he's in his palace and then him and his dad have a disagreement.
Okay.
And I remember Wong is in this movie for some reason.
Wong shows up like at the end of the movie, right?
He's in the middle of it too with, Abomination during the ring fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
very beginning of the movie shows his dad and his mom, like, fighting in the forest when he first, like, went to learn, like, martial arts from them or something. They have, like, that, like, romantic dance battle or whatever.
Hmm.
Not clicking anything for you, is it?
I you know what? You know what? I am forgetting more of this, but I think the biggest part of this movie that I remember was like the big end battle because they have like the dragon and all that,
And
and and the scene in San Francisco with the trolley car. I think those are the two big standouts to me.
yeah, I also really remember where he's fighting the assassin or whatever. I believe in that arena area, they, like, end up parkouring throughout a skyscraper that's being built,
Okay.
and they're, like, fighting throughout it, and he ends up, like, escaping in a helicopter. That was a really cool scene for me too.
Okay.
That's like, I
Okay.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Nope. I have to rewatch this clearly.
You do. It's a good movie. But yeah, that end scene is really good, especially, like, when him and his dad are fighting over the 10 rings, and he ends up
Yeah.
kinda, like, taking it back from him and doing things that, like, his dad couldn't do.
Right. Right. I do remember that battle at the end because the dad's when the dad has the rings, they're like red. When Shang Chi has them, they're blue. Right.
Yeah, n I think one of them is yellow and the other's blue. I don't remember whose was whose, but
Okay.
something like that.
All right, we have like 10 seconds. Where do we want to throw this guy?
I'm cool with I don't know. It has a pretty good self-contained story until the end when they throw it into the multiverse for some reason, and
Right.
then, the choreography, like you said, is really top notch.
Mhm.
I'm cool with, like, B somewhere.
Yeah. See, this one's tough for me because like I said, I'm realizing I forget more of this movie than I had thought.
Right.
Um, I mean, I'm cool with throwing it up in B just because from what I do remember, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna say like bottom of B tier.
I feel like above Ant-Man, maybe.
All right. Cool with that.
Also, sidebar, the director or the choreographer,
Mhm.
question mark, of that movie is the one who's directing the new Spider-Man movie.
The director, yeah, I did know that.
So, we're so back. We're about we're about to get the most grounded Spider-Man you've ever seen.
This episode is just gonna be titled "We're So Back,"
We're so
MCU Part 2.
back. Yeah, Terry, that better be the title of this.
Alright. Here's where I think Shots and I are gonna start to divert from each other just a little bit.
Temporarily.
Eternals.
Eternals.
You know where I'm going with this,
Patrick,
buddy.
you're my eternal friend, and I
You
love
are my eternal friend, Shots,
and
and
I
I do
love you,
love
buddy.
you. Mhm.
But you're wrong. This movie's
This is
good.
a bad movie. No,
This is a
this
great
is
movie.
Shots, this movie is so
It's
boring.
not. You
This movie
have a
is
small
so
IQ. I'm kidding.
that's I
Uh,
I remember watching this movie in theaters and like midway through, I'm like looking at my watch like I'm like, is this over yet? This is unbearable. I don't like this movie. I really don't. And we're gonna
I
fight about where it's gonna go.
I do, and it's crazy because, like, I think this movie suffers from trying to do too much at once, I will say that.
100%.
I think this movie should have had at least 2 parts, like, a or just a straight up sequel, whatever you wanna call it.
I think honestly, like in my mind, this should have been a show. Like if you want to introduce like all these characters, if you want to do all these things, like chop it up into like 8 episodes, make them like 40 minutes a piece, and like you could have told a decent story here. And like this movie's like pretty like star studded too.
Yeah,
You've got Kit Harrington from Game of Thrones. You got Angelina Jolie. Uh, God, there's a couple more people I can't think of right now, but
yeah, I'm terrible with actors' names, so I don't
I
know, but
know. I think Kumail Nanjiani is in this movie. Good, good actors.
that are being
Um,
wasted now
that are
because
kind of being wasted. I know. I just saw Kumail did a podcast with I want to say it's Mike Birbiglia, and he talked about this movie and how like he had signed on for like 6 movies, like all these different
yes,
projects,
I
and
saw that.
then it flopped, and you know people were kind of like, "Wow, that's embarrassing for you. You're an idiot," and like how that had an impact on like his mental health. Like it really sad to see that happen because like the actors don't deserve that. I hate when people look at actors and do that sort of stuff because that makes no sense to me. The actors have nothing to do with the creative decisions behind the movie. 99% of the time. There are exceptions to that, but most of
Looking
the
at
time they
you,
have
Ryan
nothing to do with it.
Reynolds.
Looking at Dwayne the Rock Johnson, um, but
Yeah. No, I agree.
yeah, I
But
nothing against any of the actors in this movie. I think some of the visuals in this movie are cool. Like the one speedster, like when she
Bakari,
runs, it's awesome. It's
yeah,
really cool.
I think it's one of the best, like, representations of, like, a speed force type power.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I thought
Outside of like Quicksilver
Icarus's
and that, yeah.
yeah, Icarus's powers I thought were really cool.
Which one's
Um,
Icarus?
the main guy, the main one, the leader, the guy that
Yeah,
flies into the sun at the end.
Shotz. I'm telling you, I like this movie had me bored to tears. I'm so sorry to break it to you. I I
I
I don't know the plot of this movie. I'm just straight up. I don't know the plot of this movie
The
off the top of
plot
my
of the
head.
movie is that the Eternals are sent to Earth to safeguard it from this threat of these aliens. I forget what they're called, and
Mhm.
that is their only objective. And they're not allowed to intervene in any
Oh, right.
scenario,
Right.
regardless, unless it involves the aliens that they're there to kill or whatever.
So, I remember people were mad at this because, like, the movie implies that the Eternals have been on Earth the whole time, and everyone's like, "Where
Correct.
were we all when Thanos showed up?" I remember
Yeah,
that. I
and
remember
they're
that.
literally like they have like it's a plot point, one of the many that like they're like, "We have these powers, we should do something," and the main
Mhm.
guy, Icarus, is like, "We can't. We're not allowed to. We're not supposed to. That's not our job or our duty. We have to
Right.
let Earth figure out their own things."
I remember the end of this movie, so we have 15 seconds left technically. We're gonna go a little long, but there are 2 post-credit scenes, and I remember the post-credit scenes. The first one is that Harry Styles shows up as Thanos' brother,
Yeah, implying
which
that he's also an Eternal.
yeah, which I was like, "Okay." Kinda weird, but okay. Um, and then the other one is that Kit Harington's character gets that one sword,
The All Dark.
the All Dark, and then he hears Blade.
Yeah,
And here's the thing, this is what I think at the end of filming Superman, James Gunn came out and talked about how, like, he will not do post-credit scenes that, like, don't immediately set something up, like, if he does anything that sets up like a movie, it's going to be the very next movie that comes out.
Like with Supergirl, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't want like these sort of like teases that happen that go nowhere. And I think specifically he's talking about this post-credit scene with Blade. Cause
Well, that's just
like,
a shame what's happening with that.
well, I agree. Um, I really would have loved to see Mahershala Ali. I don't think that movie's ever coming out. I gotta be honest with you. I don't think it's happening.
Probably not. But,
Um, but yeah, I digress. Where are we throwing this movie, Shots?
okay, so, like, we really didn't, like, talk about the movie itself too
I
much.
have nothing to talk about.
Expand your brain, Patrick.
Bro, expand your eyes and watch the movie.
I did.
It's
I
not
have.
good.
It
It's not good.
is.
It's
It does
not
such a
though.
good world building and, like, showing, like, the history of the MCU through their eyes.
Me, 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 me.
Such a hater. And then,
Here's the
of
thing.
course, them introducing, like, Celestials is such a
Mhm.
pivotal thing, and, like, learning that there's a Celestial inside of the planet that because that's the plot twist. They're not there to safeguard the Earth, they're there to make sure the Celestial is born,
Right,
and you learn that there's actually thousands of ver not copies or versions, but thems, like, if they die, they just get reborn, basically.
right,
It's cool. And then, of course, you have the other celestial, the red one, come down and like just pluck all them out of Earth at the very end, which is why he what's his face goes and gets the sword to try and get
mhm,
his eternal girlfriend back.
mhm,
Cersei,
mhm.
Cersei, not selling you, am I?
No. No, you're not.
Dude, it's a good movie. It's just a lot of world building.
It's too much and too like, ironically, not enough time, even though this movie is like it's like 2.5 hours long, it's pretty long.
I think it's like 3 hours.
It's close to it.
It's
I
like,
know it's one of the longer movies in the MCU.
yeah,
It's not as long as Endgame, but it's long.
it's one of the longer ones for sure. I don't know. From like a lore standpoint, I enjoyed it because there's
Sure.
just a lot of like stuff that makes you think and a lot
Mhm.
of potential like setup that unfortunately I think with
We'll never have a payoff.
we'll never have a payoff because now we are like feeling the aftershocks of like COVID,
Yeah,
the writer strikes, all this other
for sure,
BS.
for sure.
Um, Although I feel
Where
like I saw that they said they were working on a sequel now.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know
don't know.
where. I don't know.
If they do a sequel, I think it would have to be retooled because, like I said, this movie flopped pretty hard.
Yeah.
People did not enjoy this movie. Majority of people did not enjoy this movie as much as you would like to disagree with them.
I, listen, I liked it.
That's fine. That's fine. No hate.
I'm just a better Marvel fan than you, that's all.
That's for sure. I don't disagree with you there.
Um, okay, so we're not putting it in D tier.
Who- Are you sure about that?
I sure am, for sure.
So where is it going?
I don't think it deserves that. I think
Mhm.
visually it's a very good movie. I think it has
Okay.
some good. You don't think it visually looks good?
I'm hearing you. I just
Okay.
want to hear your justification here.
Visually it looks good. I think it has
Mhm.
very interesting characters that were fleshed out pretty well. Whatever. God. The powers I think of everybody were really cool. And I think just getting to see Celestials was like an awesome thing. Uh, yeah, I mean, at least C. It deserves, I think, at least C, if not B.
It's not going B. I'll tell you that. I'll fight you on that. There's no way. It's bad, dude. It's bad.
It's
It's not the
not.
worst. It is not the worst. I think there are interesting things in this movie. I just don't think they are the main focal point of the movie for me. I'm willing to say bottom of C tier, and I mean absolute bottom.
Have you ever watched it more than once?
No.
Will you watch it again for me?
Sure, but I don't think that'll change my opinion.
uh, really below like Black Widow and everything. We think
I'd
below the
I'd
first
rather watch
four.
Black Widow, yeah. Yeah, in my mind, for sure.
That's crazy, dude.
I don't think it is. I
I
don't think
think
it
it's
is.
absolutely absurd.
We're just gonna throw it. We'll just see. See, doesn't that look right?
He says that
Doesn't-
because I have no control where things go. I
Hey,
physically can't take the mouse.
yeah, that's true. You physically can't move it, but that is you have control. Besides, we have to move on to better movies, shots.
Uh,
You know, let's
I
not
think
spend our
that's the
time
only
arguing.
I think that's the only movie that's really gonna have us argue. I think we argued
For
more
sure.
about that than we did Thor 2.
I for sure, because Thor 2 is bad.
It's not okay. Let's not do this.
Let's move on.
Let's
Let's move on.
we were so close.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
We are so back. We're so back.
I was waiting for it. Shots. This is another movie, and I was kind of talking about this earlier, where I think in theaters, like seeing this in like opening weekend was incredible. Upon rewatch, there are some moments that like they were clearly built for movie theater audiences that when you're watching it at your house, you're kind of like, this moment's dragging on a little too long. And I'm thinking specifically like when
Andrew
Toby
Garfield.
and Andrew Garfield come out and they're just standing there and they're like for like 10 seconds, just so that like the audience has time to like cheer and freak out. And there's no dialogue or anything happening, and you're just like waiting there, like, okay, let's keep going. What's happening now? It's a little clunky. That being said, it's a good movie, but I have to acknowledge that there are clunky parts to it. Agree? You don't agree?
I don't This is one of those instances where I think like editing a movie after release would have been great.
Ooh, that's an interesting take.
Because like what was stopping them from shortening that scene a little bit after it came to Disney Plus?
I mean, nothing, right? Nothing. Now, see, now we're getting into a weird little philosophical debate here. We'll pause the conversation really quick. So that's an interesting thought you bring up because, like, does editing the movie post release, like, A, is that fair to do? And B, does that hurt the integrity of like what the filmmaker was going for?
Well, let's here's a perfect example. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse
Hmm.
or Beyond the Spider-Verse, whichever one the second one was,
Across the Spider Verse.
Cross. Apparently there's like 3 different versions of that movie,
Oh yeah, with like different scenes in the middle, right?
and like they're basically like lost media now because there's only the one version online.
I know. I know. So like I think about like Clue did that a long time ago. Do you remember the
Okay.
Clue movie?
Is that like literally Clue but a
Like
movie?
the board game. Yeah, yeah.
I I don't know if I ever saw that.
So it stars Tim Curry. When that film was released, so it's this big like murder mystery, like who done it. The film has 4 endings with like 4 different people who like did it.
Really?
And depending on like I think it was like what state you lived in, like you got a different version of the movie.
That's crazy.
I know. And this was back in like the 90s, I think. So like a lot of people didn't know that there were other versions of the movie until like the DVD came out. And like nowadays, the DVD will show like all 4 different endings, but there's one
Okay.
that's like the canon ending. Um,
Imagine having like a conversation with your buddy. It's like, yeah, what'd you think of the ending? It's like, yeah, when Sarah did it, and then
yeah.
he's just like,
Oh no, the
"What do you mean
butler did it.
Sarah?"
Right. Well, and I think that was literally like the intention behind it. Um, but yeah, like I find it fascinating when movies do that sort of thing. I don't know if like for the sake of the MCU and for the sake of the conversation, we'll get back on track now. Um, I don't know if movies should be editing like post release, just because I think about like the Star Wars like 20th anniversary, like they add in the CGI and all that. So like when that becomes like the official like canon version, you have this like disconnect between the audience where it's like, well, we liked the old version for what it was. And now
Right.
you have all these people who like hate on the new special editions and stuff like that. I don't know.
I think in some instances, because like what you're just taking away Toby and Andrew standing there for. And again, I don't know. It's been a while since I watched this movie, so I don't know if it's as long as you claim, or maybe it's not as
It's
long and you're
it's at
exaggerating it.
least it's at least 5 full seconds a piece.
Is that a long time, Patrick?
For a movie, yeah, it is. Like where they're just like standing looking at a character and like, hang on, we'll count. Ready? Was that a long time, Shots, where nothing's happening in a story? I think so. I think so.
I mean, he's moving around, he's breathing.
Okay. Here's the thing. Like when you're making a movie, every single second matters because every single second like and again, I don't know how true this is like in like a modern MCU, but like there used to be like limits to how long movies could be because general audiences back in the day didn't like seeing a movie that was over 90 minutes. So like every second of screen time mattered and you had to cut certain things to make sure that like you had the audience's attention but the story still made sense. We're kind of adding built-in like reaction time to movies. I don't know if I'm a fan of that in general. We'll move on from this point, but I just wanted to say little bit of clunkiness in this movie because of that.
Right.
Overall, doesn't too badly affect my enjoyment of it.
So I guess getting back on topic, this is
Mhm.
probably the first movie as of now that brought in characters from nostalgic older movies.
From outside the original canon MCU timeline, yes.
Because what we are back with Peter. He is finishing up high school, applying to college with his friends.
Also,
His
don't forget this movie starts immediately after the post-credits scene of Far From Home, where Mysterio
Mysterio puts
has
him on
revealed to
blast.
the world that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. So now you have for the first time on screen, you have a world where the entire world knows who Spider-Man is.
And everybody's against him for some reason now.
Well, there's like two sides, right? Because there are some supporters, but there's some like detractors too.
Like
Because you
more
have that
Stark.
scene with yeah, because you have that scene with like Flash Thompson where he's like, "Yo, Peter, we've always been boys, right?" And then you're like, "Flash, no, we have not always been boys. I hate you. You're the
Yeah.
worst."
I'll help you if
Um,
you let me swing with you and tell them we've always been best friends. Fine.
right, right. Um, I think so. Then Peter goes to Doctor Strange, and he's
Hot
like,
boy.
"Hey, can you do some magic or something? Can you help me? I can't get into college now. I have nothing to do." And so they try to cast the spell, and Spider Man keeps like interrupting it. But in that sequence, Doctor Strange is like, "Hey, have you tried like asking the college admissions counselor?" And Peter's like,
Yeah. You could do that.
"No." And so then he goes, "You haven't even tried that yet, dude? Like, what are you're coming to me trying to do world changing magic and we're doing this?" So that's where you see the scene with like Doc Ock and the Green Goblin. Again, I it was always like an interesting thing where the MCU always chose like new villains for Peter and that didn't like recast any of those villains from the previous Toby or Andrew movies. And that was always intentional because they wanted to do like something different. But I liked that they kind of used this movie to be like, well, we were never gonna do that. We were never gonna recast those guys because look at they're here now,
Right.
and they're like the MCU version of these characters now. I think Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin. He's one of those castings that like he's just incredible.
He's like the RDJ of the
Yeah,
Goblin.
yeah, and you can't imagine anybody else in that role now.
Right.
Um, but he's the best part, I think, of this movie. Like
He's great.
Spider-Man versus Green Goblin is such like an iconic like rivalry. It's truly like the Marvels like Batman versus Joker.
Right.
Like that those are the two that you see going at it. And I mean just the fight sequences between the two of them, especially in this movie, I thought were awesome.
And it's also
Um
like, God, so much happens in this movie, but like
yeah.
you get probably one of the best. I know I said this before too, but like just like a raw visual representation. Like you're not seeing him physically dodge bullets and drones, but like you
Mhm.
see his spider sense overpower him and
Yeah.
like just completely take control. Like the music stops playing, the audio is completely silent, the people's voices are muffled in the background, and it's just
Yeah.
him walking and just his body reacting to like the goblin coming back out of Norman.
Right, right. Norman's on sabbatical.
That
Oh,
spider sense of yours.
that's so good,
And
dude.
just the
So
fight
good.
sequence that they have throughout the building is just ridiculous. Like you have,
Yeah.
because you know, Spider-Man has always stated that he's stronger than 90% of people, right? And he
Yeah.
holds back. And he's sitting here wailing on him, and he's
Yeah, he's
just
not holding
laughing in
back
his
anymore.
face.
Yeah.
He's laughing at him, and you see Peter start to let loose, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah, they're going through like literal floors of concrete, like they're fighting all over the place. I will say, the entire time you're watching the MCU, it we always thought it was implied that Uncle Ben had already died, right?
Right.
I don't know if that's canon to the MCU anymore
I don't know if
because
he did die.
now right, I don't think he ever had an Uncle Ben
Well, he
because
did.
now did he?
Yeah, because they kind of hinted at that with in Far From Home with his suitcase. It was his
Oh,
uncle's
yeah,
because
yeah,
it says Ben Parker on it or whatever.
right, right. But like being that so either way, the impact of like Uncle Ben's death was not the same as Aunt May because in this movie, Marissa Tomei's Aunt May says the line, "With great power comes great responsibility." She dies from her injuries from the fight Peter
Goblin.
has with Goblin,
Yeah, he throws a bomb at
and
him.
yeah, and like then you get the scene where the three Spider-Men team up, and I mean, again, in terms of like third act big fights, this is one of the better ones. You have redeeming moment for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man where he gets to catch Mary Jane.
Yep. So
Um,
sweet. He cries, and it's just very touching.
yeah. Or sorry, not Mary Jane.
MJ.
MJ. Yeah. They're very specific. She's not Mary Jane.
Yeah, Mary Jones.
No, she's like Michelle,
Michelle
I
Jones.
think.
Yeah, Michelle
Yeah, yeah.
Jones.
Either way. Um,
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I
And
think
the dynamic, I think, between the 3 of them felt very natural.
yeah. Yeah, they're the big brothers and he's the little brother and they're trying to help him come into his own.
And, like,
I also
hearing
really like hmm?
Go ahead.
I really like the chemistry between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. The fight that they have when he's trying to get Peter to like not take the box is really cool where they're going through like the mirror dimension and stuff like that.
They really did him justice there too because, like, you know, he pushes his soul out of him, and then,
Yeah.
like, he just completely underestimated him, and just, like, his body itself
Well,
reacted
because that
again with the
it's his
spider
spider
sense.
sense. Right.
And then, like,
Um
it illustrates how smart Peter is because
yeah.
he literally uses math
Geometry. Yeah.
to beat him, which is
Mhm.
just so impressive to me.
And then the movie ends. Doctor Strange sets it so that because all these different villains and people all from all across the multiverse are coming in because they all know who Peter Parker is. So now Spider-Man asks Doctor Strange, "Hey, can you make it so that no one knows who Peter Parker is? No
Right.
one knows who Spider-Man is. No one knows who Peter Parker is." And so we do that, and we get the end scene where Peter goes into the coffee shop. MJ and Ned are there. They're talking about going to college. Peter isn't enrolled in high school anymore because he doesn't exist really.
Mhm.
Um, and Peter lets them go.
Yep.
He lets them live their lives, and he's just happy they're okay.
And then we get the scene with him getting his first apartment. He's actually in the city now.
Yeah.
And I would say this is probably the most, like, as of that moment, this is the most Peter Parker Spider-Man we've gotten. He has nothing. He has no one. He's now in a
Mhm.
city.
Yeah.
I mean, they hint, I think, in one of his boxes that he's going to take his GED, try to get
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
college.
Right.
But that's like that's whatever. He'll be fine. He's smart, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, and then you get the nice little, and you see it a lot too. Like
Homemade suit and
you see it
stuff.
with the new leaks that he like took inspiration from like the other two suits, kind of
Yeah.
to become him.
Right.
And you get the nice final swing. It's Christmas
Mhm.
time. He's all alone out to save the city.
Mhm.
Oof.
Yeah, this is I think so I think this movie does a good job of, like, capping off all 3 as a trilogy as, like, his origin story,
Correct.
but I think he also, like this end scene specifically is for those people who are like, "We don't like the MCU version of Spider-Man, like, he's too far involved with, like, Iron Man and all that." This no one can complain now. This is base level core Spider-Man.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like the Avengers still know who Spider-Man is. Like,
They know Spider-Man, but they don't know he's Peter Parker.
right. Like they know that
They
he
don't
was
know he's like a
part of
kid.
like the snap and everything. Like he was still
Yes.
there,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So
So, yeah, hopefully in the future we'll see Spider-Man kind of interact with the Avengers again, and maybe this time he'll keep his identity more close to the chest, like, he won't be telling people, because
I
that's
would
kind of
assume
how he is in the
so.
comics a lot of the time, but
Yeah.
we'll
I
see.
think the only people that really know who he is like MJ and maybe like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
Shots.
Good movie.
We've rambled on for so long on this movie because we both love
I know.
it. Where are we putting it?
Okay, so Patrick, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are those was that really only your complaint with this movie? Those like little bit of audience reaction time?
I also like so we're gonna talk about this movie longer now.
Oh
Um,
boy.
like I think it would have been nice to bring back Vulture as one because like this is the closest we'll get to a Sinister Six live action.
Well, don't forget, Pat, he's in the Venomverse.
Don't
We
start.
we also got Eddie
Don't
Brock in the
start
MCU too. Don't forget about that in
for
this movie.
5 seconds. Yeah. Um,
So
my thing is like I think this movie does a good job of juggling all these villains, but
yeah,
like the Sam Raimi like Spider-Man or not Spider-Man, Green Goblin and Doc Ock are the two big ones. And then
yeah,
everybody else is kind of like meh.
yeah. Like
Because you
Lizard basically does nothing.
Lizard does nothing. Sandman does next to nothing.
Electro,
Um
he's all right.
Electro has his moments with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but like
I just thought you'd be black.
right.
I'm sure there's a black
Um
one out there.
I I'd be okay putting this at the top of A tier, like above Homecoming, but I like Far From Home better than No Way Home.
You know, Pat, I do love this movie a lot, and it's probably just the inner Spider-Man fanboy in me. But
Sure.
I'll coincide with you.
Okay. Okay.
I do think it's very close. the Far From Home.
Sure, sure. I think and honestly, you can see that, like, we have the 3 of them, like, all kind of
They're all the
right in a
top.
row with each other. Yeah, but alright. We're gonna go back to sticking to the 5-minute rule because we went way over on that movie.
Yeah.
But, uh, chats, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. So, just for some background, this movie came out after No Way Home, but it is set supposedly before No Way Home. Do you
No, it's not.
remember do you remember this?
No, it's not.
I thought they said it was.
There's literally a scene in it where, Doctor Strange says, "Yeah, I just got done helping this kid from New York," and what's her face, uh, America Chavez.
America
She's like,
Chavez, yeah.
His name's Spider-Man?"
Hmm.
It's like, does he control spiders? And he's like, "No, he just calls himself that." It's after. It's after.
Yeah, okay.
It's, like,
I
immediately after.
see, then this movie kinda bothers me. Only because, like, you now have Stephen Strange doing exactly what he told Spider-Man not to do,
Which is
where
what?
he's kind of, like, messing with, like, the laws of, like, the natural universe, and he's jumping around to all these different universes, and
He's not trying to. It's not his fault. Chavez has no control over her power.
oh, I know that, but, like, he at one point, he takes control of, like, his dead corpse or, like, a different universe's version dead corpse, and that's what
Wasn't
ends up giving him, like, the third eye and stuff like that, like
wasn't it because he was, like, trapped in a different dimension or something?
yeah, right, but again, like,
I
I don't
feel like
know,
it was a lot of, like, like he had no choice.
sure, but, like, it's just weird that you have him doing all this stuff after he's, like, yelled at Peter for being irresponsible, you know what I mean?
You also gotta remember that whole movie is kinda his fault too, because Wong literally tells him not to mess with, the spell of erasing people's minds, and he's just
Yeah,
like, "Don't worry,
sure
we
thing,
got it."
buddy.
So
I won't.
did he really learn a lesson? Because that's
I
always
mean,
kinda been his character. He's, like, cocky and ignorant, thinks he knows
sure,
everything.
sure. This is where, like, the MCU is really trying to do this multiverse thing for this stretch of movies especially. Um, there was a lot of hype around this movie, and it kind of just ended up being, like, a cameo fest. Um, specifically, like, John Krasinski being Mr. Fantastic,
The fan
a big
cast
f
of the century.
big fan casting for a long time. You saw the return of
Patrick Stewart,
Patrick Stewart for the first time in the MCU, and then, Wanda just completely wipes the floor with him.
Haley Cartwell,
Yeah, Haley Atwell,
Atwell, yeah,
uh, as, Captain Britain, where she's big, beefy,
yeah,
she's got the British shield and everything. You have the different version of Miss Marvel here,
yeah, Monica
or
Rambeau's mom.
Captain Marvel, I keep doing that. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, like, you're playing with the multiverse, and it's interesting. Um, I like a lot of the visuals in this movie. This movie was directed by Sam Raimi,
Mm,
who he's used to doing horror stuff, so, like, I really liked where Wanda takes out, like, Black Bolt and everybody, like, she goes
what now?
inside of yeah, yeah. She goes inside of, Patrick Stewart or, Professor X's mind, and she, like, kills him inside of there and everything.
Yeah,
It's really cool. I do think in general, like, they kind of exaggerate her character in this movie just because, like, at the end of WandaVision, there's more nuance to her and, like, her sort of, like, heel turn because she's now reading the Darkhold. She's kind of become, like, brainwashed by it,
I was gonna
and
say is that's basically the whole reason she turns evil is because of that book, right?
essentially, but the reason she starts reading the book is because she wants her kids back. She wants her family back.
Sure.
But this movie just kind of takes that idea to, like, a bigger height. and you're kind of like, "Oh, that's not really like," you're kind of missing some of the nuances of this character. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because even in the comics, Wanda's always been that kind of character that's like super impressionable, and she kind of
Yeah,
needs somebody there to guide her into the proper role of a hero, if you will.
yeah,
Like a lot of that for her was Steve Rogers, and you do
mhm,
see that in the movies even, but
sure,
then of course he dies. So who's really there
right,
to? I imagine how different WandaVision could have been if like Steve went to go get her.
sure, yeah,
It might have been a whole different outcome, but we don't really see that. So she's just kind of like left alone to her own devices to like run rampage. You know,
right. We are out of time. Where should we put this movie in its ranking?
it's a good movie. I think. I think it's a shame that like some of the cameos, like the what the they weren't really Avengers. They were like kind of a council, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I've heard a lot of that would like they didn't even get to like see each other. It was like filmed in closets separate. So
right,
they
yeah,
really didn't get a chance to do anything. I like the horror aspects. I thought it was really cool. Like
mhm,
specifically like the mirror scene, the
yeah,
hallway scene where she's chasing them throughout the suburbs or whatever.
mhm.
Um, it was cool. It was a good movie, I think. The ending, because apparently she's actually dead. I kind of doubt that still.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen's kind of come out and been like, "Yeah, I haven't heard anything about plans for me to come back," and I don't think she's super, like, pushing it either.
Right, which is a shame, but
Yeah,
whatever. I think it was kind of rushed a little bit, but I don't think it
yeah.
was a bad watch. I'd watch it again.
Oh, for sure. I think, again, its biggest crime to me is that it's just, like, it it tries to pack it in with so many, like, people and cameos and things like that, and in general, it's just kind of like, "Okay." You know
Mm.
what I mean? Um,
Like if it was
for
all just like her assaulting like the temple, that was
mhm.
cool.
Yeah, sure. I would put this movie
Maybe mid B below Captain Marvel, maybe.
I mm, let's say below Shang-Chi.
All right,
Fair?
that's fair.
Alright. Alright, up next,
Speaking of Miss
Thor:
Marvel,
Love and Thunder. Speaking of Miss
oh
Marvel.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking
Yeah.
at the show. I'm looking at the show.
Oh, okay, okay. No, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Rip.
Rip. Um, okay. You and I do not agree with the general consensus of audiences on this movie. I like this movie. I think it's cool. I think you kind of didn't like the story in Thor: Ragnarok,
Correct.
correct? I
I thought it
think
was just a waste.
that's fair. Well, I don't know if it's fair, but I, uh, I understand your point. I think this movie, like, the story of this movie in general is kind of, like, lacking, but I really like the character of Jane Foster in this movie. I think she kind of holds this movie together and grounds it in, like, a reality
Right.
where she's sick, she's dying of cancer, and Mjolnir, and I will say that this bit is dumb because Thor in the flashback, like in a drunken stupor, like does a sort of like Odin's promise to Mjolnir where he's like, always make sure you take care of Jane. And so when Jane starts to die, Mjolnir being this like smashed into smithereens thing, like brings itself back together to like make her healthy again and like give her the power of Thor.
Well, that is kind of like pulling, which again is kind of whatever because it's never stated. But in the
Mhm.
comics,
Right.
Mjolnir is a sentient being. It's not
Right.
just metal.
Right. Right.
Um,
I will say, that part is kind of weak to me, but like I really like. that she can like throw Mjolnir and it can like break and explode, and then all the little pieces go flying
Yeah, that
everywhere
was
and hitting
cool.
people
That
and
was
stuff.
cool.
I really liked the Colosseum scene where you have all those
Oh, the
different
gods.
people, yeah, all the different gods there, just to kind of show like not like a Mount Olympus type thing, but like to show all these different pantheons and stuff that like Thor knows how to interact with.
Mhm.
Um,
You get, Zeus.
Zeus. This movie's villain is Gore the God Butcher, played by
So
Christian
good,
Bale.
so good.
I,
The best part
I
of the
will
movie, I think.
for sure. I think this movie does suffer a little tonally because the scenes with him are so like serious and so grounded, and then you have all this silly hijinks with Thor and everything, and he's got to save like all the kids of Asgard because they've all been kidnapped by Gore the God Butcher.
It's also
Um,
a shame too, because the sword that he has is, like, a big part of, like, Noel, I think.
oh, okay,
I
yeah,
believe
I didn't
I
know that.
I always get them confused whether because we talked about it earlier, but, like, the Dark Knight has, like, the all black, and then there's also, like, that I don't know, I can't remember. There's, like, 2 big swords, and those are the 2, and he
Okay,
has 1, and it gets destroyed, and I'm like, "Dang,
yeah,
other people are supposed to use that too."
right, right. Where are you thinking we put this movie?
I think it was cool. I think it was a good, like, because Thor's the first person to break the triple movie rule,
Right. Yeah, this
right,
is the first fourth movie a
for the
character
character.
gets. Yeah.
Um, I don't know how I feel about the introduction of his now stepdaughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of whatever. Jane ends up dying and going to Valhalla.
Oh,
Um,
oh, the scene is so sad.
it is sad, and like you
She ends
get
up there
that,
with Heimdall and everything, and
and like we
yeah.
didn't say it, but like they're broken up because for reasons Jane wasn't in the movies, and it got boiled down to that they broke up, and like they
Yeah.
kind of reconciled and like had their goodbye. So that was
Yeah.
cool. And then you see, I can't remember her name, but Valkyrie being like the new Asgard being like a tourist area and all that.
Mhm, mhm.
It's cool. It's interesting. It's a lot of world building too, in top of like starting Thor's next arc,
For sure.
if you want to call it that. It was a
Mhm.
decent movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Where would I put
Alright,
it?
so we're
Uh,
officially out of time.
I don't know. I don't know where I'd put it.
I'm thinking, like, right above Thor: Ragnarok.
Yes, I definitely liked it more than Ragnarok.
I agree. I think that makes sense to me. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Alright, sweet. I think is this the last movie of Phase 4?
It is.
Okay. So we'll do this and then we'll go to a quick break. So shots, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Ibambe.
Is this the first 20 minutes of this movie? And we talked about this when we talked about the first Black Panther. This is the saddest point in the MCU. I think just because it's so closely related to like the real
Real world.
life tragic death of Chadwick Boseman. Um, it, the first 20 minutes of this movie is absolutely heartbreaking.
It's just like so you start out right with just in Shuri's lab with like the camera panned on like his diagnosis, right? Like his heartbeat or
Yeah.
something, and like saying like
Mhm.
he's got some kind of sickness, and you just see her like utterly scrambling, trying to get together something to help heal her brother.
Yeah.
And I want to say she completes it, right? Just as he dies.
Like I was gonna say, like she's either completed it or she's like seconds away from completing it. And yeah,
And then he unfortunately doesn't make it, and then you just get like this utter like celebration, like funeral, like
yeah.
obviously some kind of like long driven out tradition just to celebrate
Mhm.
everything that he was. and it's like almost awe-inspiring because it's not only like shipping off the Black Panther, but it's like an actual tribute to Chadwick.
Yeah.
It's like a celebration.
Yeah.
'Cause I would
Yeah.
argue that he was one of the best actors in the MCU.
I agree. I think he would have been like a main like leader of the Avengers
Oh my
moving
god, yeah.
forward.
If not, like, starting up the Illuminati or something.
Like I think if truly you're talking about like who's the new Captain America, who's the new whatever, I think it would have been more centered on Doctor Strange and Black Panther being like the two like fronts of the Avengers.
I wanna say that was even almost the idea to have those 2 and maybe Spider-Man be kinda the new focal point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I think I said it before, it's just a shame because I would have loved to have seen what the movie would have been like with Chadwick still in it.
I know.
Because I think a lot of it was supposed to be, like, him coming back and dealing with, again, the repercussions of the snap
Yeah.
and, like, wagering whether or not Wakanda should be, like, more open with the world and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
And then, I think it would have, like, devolved into Namor being like, "You can't do that," and then a war out.
So yeah, I was gonna say, so this movie does it introduces Namor, it introduces Atlantis. Um and Namor is like one of the first mutants that we see in the MCU.
Is he officially stated as a mutant?
I think so.
I mean, he is a mutant, I just don't remember if
Right.
he is here.
I think they do call him a mutant. I think he is a mutant
Does that
here.
word even exist in the MCU? I don't know.
I don't know either. But you have Shuri kind of taking up the mantle of Black Panther. You have the introduction of Riri Williams as like Ironheart. Um, this movie does this movie's tough because I think it's doing a lot, and I mean
Mhm,
like a lot. Um, because it's paying tribute to Chadwick. It's having Shuri take on the role of Black Panther. It's introducing Namor. It's introducing Ironheart. And so I think because of that, the plot itself kind of gets like bogged down and like muddy.
mhm,
Um, Overall, like it's good. I think the best parts of it are the tributes to Chadwick Boseman.
and maybe, like,
Um,
the fight scene at the end,
yeah, yeah. But
maybe.
I mean, I was gonna say in general, I think of this movie more as just like a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, but I don't know if that like taking that out of it, like if I think this is a severe downgrade from the first movie for
I
sure.
also think it's utterly insane that you come off the funeral, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And maybe not even 15, 20 minutes later, they kill her mother,
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah.
like, straight up drown her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my god, we really just did that? That's insane." It's
Right.
so depressing. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, you have the reveal that Chadwick or T'Challa had a son,
Yeah.
and that you can imply that like he's eventually going to take on the role of like King of Wakanda and Black Panther, and
I
but
Am I crazy for saying this? I'm not a fan of Sherry being a Black Panther.
I a lot of people weren't. A lot of people wanted them to recast. I don't know. I could see both arguments for it because I think you do have without recasting him, you have this nice tribute to Chadwick Boseman. At the same time, you do kind of like again, the story is a bit more complicated now and things like that.
It's just interesting to me because we've never had an issue with recasting a character before. I'm not saying Chadwick didn't deserve what he was given,
Yeah.
but it's just funny, I guess.
But again, think about it. Like the two we've talked about this. The two biggest recasts were the Hulk and War Machine. And
Mhm.
that's so early on. Like Chadwick was like the face of this franchise. And so I think recasting him, like I know people were talking about like, Oh, bring back Michael B. Jordan, bring back Killmonger as, like, the new Black Panther, like, I
It's
don't know how
he
you
was
would do
in this
that.
movie. He was in this movie.
I know, I know.
Well, and don't forget they recasted Ross because the original actor died.
Yeah, he's a smaller role, though, up until later.
They recasted, Cassie Lang. That actress did not deserve
That was
what
dumb.
happened to her. That was stupid.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, what else? I feel like there was someone else, but I can't remember. But yeah, regardless, Chadwick would have been the biggest.
yeah.
I've heard too talks about them looking for a new Black Panther for whatever is going to happen in the multiverse here.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I
So
know we're probably gonna recast a lot of people, but where do we wanna put Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
I don't think it was as good as the first one,
No,
like you
definitely not.
said. I don't think it's an S. I don't even know if A is a good spot for it.
I don't think so. I'm looking and I'm like, it kind of fits down near the other movies that we were talking about. I feel like maybe above Multiverse of Madness. That's kind of where I'm leaning. Or we could even go the top of C tier, I guess, but that feels a little low. I don't know.
Bro, honestly, I might get some flack for it, but like throw it to bottom of B.
I think that's fair. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, B tier. All
Wakanda
right.
sometimes. Wakanda when I feel like it.
That's all right. And when I feel like it, we're going to take a break. So we'll be
That's fair.
back and we'll get to talking about MCU Phase 5 and finishing off our recap. And we're so back, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
Let's go. Phase 5 MCU. Shots.
Patrick,
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
a flop.
A big old flop, a big old dookie right on your TV and movie screen.
And hear me out, it shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have been. So, like, we didn't talk about any of the shows, but like after Thanos, the MCU's idea was to like move towards Kang the Conqueror as like the next big villain.
Introduced in
The
Loki.
introduced in Loki season 1, the big mistake they made with Kang shots, and I think you'll agree, is that for whatever reason, they wrote in the contract of Jonathan Majors that he will be the only actor portraying Kang ever. And then they decided to make this movie showing all like the Coliseum full of Kangs, and they're all different variations of Jonathan Majors. And then Jonathan Majors got canceled
He
because
got in
he's
big old trouble.
he's a bad guy. I don't know where we ever landed with that. I
I
didn't
think
keep
the
up with that.
last I remember hearing it turned out it actually was the woman. I don't know if that actually went anywhere, but
I
she
don't
was just
know.
trying to extort him for money.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I'm
know.
uncomfortable talking about it, to be honest, because
The damage was done.
yeah, in general the damage is done.
And it's a shame because I honestly think Jonathan Majors is an excellent actor.
I really like him in Loki season 1 to 2.
He's probably one of the better parts of it.
Although here, he's Dookie. I don't know if
I
you
don't
agree.
I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily think he was bad in the movie itself.
I think this whole movie's bad all around
I mean, the
because there's
movie,
a
sure, but like him
yeah.
himself, I don't know if it was bad.
It stinks because, like, I know we've said, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp have kind of been, like, filler movies, but, like, this is kind of the ultimate filler movie where, like, it has several scenes with, Evangeline Lilly, like, the woman who plays Wasp, where, like, she's clearly wearing a wig because they did, like, reshoots on this movie a couple times over,
I don't know. You're more
and
observant than I am,
oh,
apparently.
dude, I hear about these, like, production behind the scenes a lot of the time, and I think it's fascinating to me.
Okay.
Um, but, like, I just this movie becomes kind of like a mess with, like, CGI. They have MODOK in this movie, and that's a really bad CGI
It's
job.
just a giant head of the guy from the first.
Yeah, the
Ant-Man and the
Yellow
Wasp.
Jacket guy. Yeah.
I don't remember what his name is.
I would make an argument this is the worst movie in the MCU.
Yeesh. I don't know. I know one thing that you and your wife say a lot, more so
Mhm.
your wife than anything, is how it's
Okay.
dumb that he lost to ants.
Yeah, so, like,
My
in her thing was, like, in building, like, this big terrifying villain, in, uh, Kang the Conqueror, like, if you're gonna introduce him as, like, the next big bad, when he's in this movie and I don't know if this is because of reshoots or whatever, but, like, he loses to Ant-Man. He loses to Ant-Man by himself, and then you're kinda like, "Are we supposed to be afraid of this guy? Like,
and like
this isn't Thanos."
it's like specifically stated that this specific Kang is the one who's killed countless. Like he
Yeah,
literally has a treasure or a
he
trophy
is
room, whatever,
Kang the Conqueror. Like,
of
this is him.
Avengers he's killed, and he's like, "Which one are you again? Ant Man? I
Right.
think I beat you before, or
Yeah,
something like that."
and then guess what? You don't, and then you
My
lose.
my counter argument to that with Kim, and I know she's always disagreed, was with
Mhm.
his ego and his, he's so sure of himself because he has done it countless times. He has he's just a trained martial artist. He's strong. He's got like this suit that is better than anything Tony Stark's ever made. He
Mhm.
controls like gravity or something somehow, matter.
Yeah,
I don't really, whatever. I digress. Um, I think his hubris is his own undoing in this movie because
for
he
sure.
just straight up wasn't expecting a stampede of ants, right? And that sounds ridiculous, but it's literally the only thing that makes any sense. And
Oh, it was such a funny sentence.
in all
He wasn't
honesty,
expecting ants.
he fended them off until like one just like hit his like backpack or whatever, or like his gauntlet or
Oh,
something.
it's so stupid. Yeah.
And I will say too, Ant-Man did not beat him. He got his butt whooped utterly. Ant-Man was going to kill them both, and he failed
Mhm.
at that even. The only reason he didn't get away is because Lily had her femme fatale moment where she busted through the portal and shot him with the things and like
Sure.
m- like had a moment of mocking face. She's like, like you're not
I
going anywhere, buddy.
I again, I think Kim's bigger complaint is not that, like, Ant-Man beats him by himself, but it's that, like, he should have killed Ant-Man and the Wasp and, like, everybody. Like, this should have been a massacre of these characters if he's gonna
Right.
be, like, the next big bad.
Well, didn't he like need something from them? There's a reason why he didn't like straight up kill
He
them.
had to, like, get out of the quantum realm, right? Like, they were his only way out or something like that?
Something like he was extorting Ant-Man to do something for him because he was holding
Yeah.
his daughter hostage. That's crazy. I saw that.
Right.
Um,
Right. I agree.
um,
Is this the worst movie in the MCU, Shets?
what do we have in the bottom? Was that the other Ant-Man movie and Thor?
Mhm.
Wait, which Ant-Man is that above? I
That's
can't see.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's the second one.
I before I answer this question, I saw a
Mhm.
TikTok and it was saying that Quantumanium had one of the best trailers ever
Mhm.
out of like, you know, a majority of MCU movies. It's
Sure.
like it had such a good trailer, but then the movie was trash. And I
Yeah.
think I agree with that. The song
Sure.
Yellow Brick Road in it and all that. It was good. It was good.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, personally, I think I would still watch it over those other two movies.
Really?
I think so.
I don't know if I would, but I mean, okay, we can move it to the top of D tier. I'm fine with that.
But oh yeah, and the ending, Scott has like that existential crisis. He's like, did we actually beat Kang? What if he comes back? Nah, that couldn't happen.
Yeah. And then yep, you're right, it can't happen because we're
It
never gonna
would've.
bring Jonathan Majors
I
back.
I think it was supposed to.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't think they actually killed him. I think the idea was he was just stuck.
Yeah, yeah, but now he's dead.
Now he's dead, and, like,
Yeah.
since we're not really gonna talk about the shows, like,
Mhm.
I think either in Loki it might have been Deadpool and Wolverine too, but in one of the things that the TVA ran, they, like, vaguely for 3 seconds talked about killing off the council of gangs discreetly.
Right.
I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Ugh,
That was
God,
supposed to be huge."
what a mess.
What
What
a
a mess.
mess. Let's talk about something good, shall we?
Guardians Volume 3, buddy.
Mm,
Oh my god.
mm, very good.
This is an incredible movie.
This is with in the same sense that you just slid Ant-Man and the Wasp in D, I think it's safe to say we could slide this somewhere in S.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know where,
Um,
but, it's just a
I'm
good.
feeling I'm feeling right oh god, I think right above Avengers
You know what? I was gonna
S
say
tier?
between either somewhere between Civil War and Avengers, I think. Whether
Okay.
that's above Winter Soldier or below it, I don't know.
I'll take above Winter Soldier. 100%.
That's fine.
I didn't know you were gonna let me do that.
Yeah,
Cool.
what do you mean? I love that movie. It's a good movie.
I know, I know. So, here's the thing. Um,
Talk about it.
Rocket Raccoon and his backstory,
Oh, bro. I never thought I'd
like
cry over a raccoon.
well, and, like, you this is the beauty, I think, of James Gunn, where I don't expect, like, the final movie in this trilogy to be an origin story for one of the characters that we've known for so long,
Right.
and I also don't expect it to be this, like, ridiculous, like, um, all these animals have been kidnapped, and they're getting, like, genetically modified to become, like, super geniuses, and then it's the most heartbreaking thing I've
Watch
ever
them
seen in
die
my
one by
life.
one.
Thieves, thieves. Oh my god. And you know what's gonna happen. Like, when you
Right.
start seeing the scenes with, like, the 4 of them together, you're like, "You know this doesn't end well for 3 of them." Like,
Right. Because where are they
oh,
now?
right, right. And then you have Rocket finally getting his revenge and, being able to, like, kind of free this, like, society of people who are, like, under the control of what's the villain's name in this movie?
I do not remember.
I'm gonna look it up quick. I'm gonna look it up quick because I wanna know.
I don't know if I'm crazy for this, but, like, since we were talking about all this,
Yeah.
is he not basically just the same, like, his powers and anything kinda similar to Kang?
I don't know. I don't think so. He's the high evolutionary, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if his powers are similar to Kang's. I know like he he's trying to like put together like the perfect race of people,
Yeah.
right? It's very like eugenics and um the story is so good. You also have Peter Quill dealing with like the loss of
Gamora.
uh Gamora, but like she's not dead, but she's his version of Gamora's gone.
Yeah, because in Endgame
She
with the
dies, but then they bring her other like past version of herself back and
yeah, the Thanos that comes and tries to kill everybody in Endgame, that version's Gamora and Nebula come with him. Nebula
right.
dies, but that Gamora ends up defecting and
Yeah.
staying in that timeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not only
And
we have a younger Gamora, but also a Gamora that never met the Guardians.
right. And so she and Peter Quill have these scenes together where they're basically like, "Hey, I loved a different version of you, but you aren't her and you'll never be her because you won't have those experiences with us again."
Right.
And, you kind of get into a little philosophy of like people are who they are based on like their life experiences, not based on like these aren't soulmates. You know what I mean? These are the love of each other's lives, but they're like soulmates are not like realistic. and you are the sum of all of your parts. You're the sum of all your memories. Um, yeah, I just the gun don't jam, baby. The gun don't jam. He don't miss
Also, too, like she became the leader of
of the Ravagers.
the Ravengers, which is kind of
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
I think
also
it's
get
cute.
that nice little conclusion of I can't remember his name, but the guy that inherited the whistle.
Oh, yeah, from Yondu. Yeah,
Yeah, and he actually gets good at it.
yeah. He knows how to use
So
it now and
it was
all
pretty
that.
cool.
That
And,
actor is Sean Gunn, who's James Gunn's brother.
oh yeah, I knew that. I knew
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
Pretty cool.
All right. Now we're on to the Marvels shots.
I also want to say this was the
Mm.
first movie in the MCU that had the F bomb dropped.
Oh, Guardians 3 still? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
beautifully
Yeah,
executed.
very funny.
We also
Very
didn't
funny.
talk about how this movie introduced Adam Warlock,
Adam Warlock be kind of like
the
he's
most
kind of an
forgettable part.
afterthought. Yeah. Like he's cool, but like James Gunn has even come out in interviews and been like, "Yeah, the MCU kind of set me up with him. I didn't really have a choice. Like I had to include him." Um, but it was good. It was good
It was.
nonetheless. Um, okay. The
Anyway,
Marvels.
the Marvels.
I think the idea of this movie is teaming up Captain Marvel with other people because I think she works better in a group setting.
At the
Um,
moment, yeah.
yeah. I I think it's fine. I think this is another movie where there's a lot of like talk around this movie because of like the sexism inherently involved and stuff like that. Um I will say though, this movie doesn't do itself any favors. I've seen this movie. This is another one that I'm like, I don't really remember a ton that happens. I know there's a planet where like they have to sing and dance.
And
Like that's a whole
they don't
scene.
have to. That's the thing too. I think it's just like tradition because that was kind of a joke because they go to the
Right,
planet
right.
and it turns out that Brie Larson's Marvel is like a princess there
Yeah, she's like married on that planet or
to
something.
the prince, something
Yeah,
like that. And then they end
yeah,
up having like a she's like, listen, we need to talk. This is serious right now. And then he just like drops everything and talks.
yeah.
And
Right,
the
right.
girl, Miss Marvel or whatever, is
Mhm.
just like, I
We
thought
could
you
have done
had
that the
to
whole time.
dance.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are we doing?
Right.
But yet the basically the plot line is for whatever reason their powers are all interconnected because I think
Yeah,
Monica
the
Rambeau says they're all like light based
yeah, the 3 of them are constantly, like, switching places in this movie,
if
and they
they use
have to
powers at the same time.
and they pretty much have to figure out how to work together.
Yeah. And the villain in this movie is basically an op for Captain Marvel because
Yeah.
she like killed their planet basically more or less.
Right, right.
I guess. I don't know. She
I
like
don't
killed her
remember.
their son. So like they're taking resources from all the planets she saved to save their
Mhm.
planet.
Yeah. I think the biggest, like, thing that stands out to me in this movie I really like the actress for Miss Marvel. I
She
think
stole the
she's
show.
great. Yeah. The most memorable scene though is at the end where Monica Rambeau like sacrifices herself to stop the villain. She like brings them to like the edge of like the edge of the universe and like she gets herself sent to a different universe and then
She
she
like
wakes up
yeah,
and then she's in the
because
X-Men universe somehow.
the villain had the other bangle or whatever
Yes.
because Miss
Yes.
Marvel's powers in this, which is dumb, whatever, are from these bangles from her family,
Right.
and there's a set of two. She had one,
Right.
and in the show, which we didn't talk about, obviously, like it stated that like only somebody with that bloodline could like really control the power. So like
Mhm.
when she got both, she ended up losing control, and she I think she killed herself is what ended up happening. But she created a wormhole or a black hole, whatever you want to call it, which is what
Mhm.
she ended up flying into and dissipating from the other side with her powers.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really cool. She ends up in this other multiverse where she finds a version of her mother who is Captain Marvel, and Beast
Yes,
is there. And then
and
they play the
he's
X-Men theme song. Oh,
yeah,
we're so back.
we're so
We're
back.
so back. Super cool.
Oh man. Yeah. That being said, C tier.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah, probably.
um,
I don't know if it's the worst. I mean,
no,
I
it's just
I
very
still
meh.
watch.
It's very forgettable to me.
It was fun, I think.
Sure,
Just turn your brain
sure.
off.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, if you don't think about it, it's fine. All right, Deadpool Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
This is an interesting one because like we kind of talked about this a little bit before with Spider-Man No Way Home, but like this is truly like this is a sequel to a movie that is not in the MCU.
Right,
This is the first time that like we have truly like after the Fox Disney merger where you have like a true Fox character, and that's the whole like plot in this movie
right.
is you're taking all the people from the Fox timeline and the Fox timeline's going away. And Deadpool and Wolverine is kind of a swan song to the Fox X-Men universe because it has all these references to like the Fantastic Four and
I was gonna say,
the
like,
X-Men.
kind of similar to how No Way Home ended Toby and Andrew's arcs. This ended the Days of Future Past arc, the
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix arc. It kind of ends the Fantastic Four
Yeah.
to an extent.
Logan.
Logan, it touches on that.
Oh, it touches on it.
Oh, it touches all over. Um, I think that's it. I think that's the only other,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's all there was
Right.
whatever.
This is another one where like you could make an argument that it's a cameo fest, but I think it does it well because you have like the whole time you're watching, you see Chris Evans show up in the movie and you're like, "Oh god, we just brought back Captain America immediately." And then you have the scene where he's like, "All right, flame on." And he's Johnny Storm again from
Yeah,
like
and he's sitting there,
2004.
he's like, "Avengers assemble." What?
Right. Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
mean,
or
"Flame on"?
Deadpool's expecting him to be Captain America and it's not. And he's like, "Oh god, not you." Oh my god,
Like,
and we
oh,
we
we
didn't
didn't even talk.
mention
I think we both just thought about it. Freaking
Elektra,
Blade,
Blade,
Gambit,
X-23, Gambit. Oh my god. Yes.
Channing Tatum's Gambit, who never got a chance to shine.
Which is funny because, like, in this movie, they talk about how, like, yeah, we're from all these different universes that got collapsed, and he's like, "Yeah, my universe never even got started." And you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, right.
yeah,
You
and
were
then
gonna be a thing."
Daphne Keene comes back. She's all grown up, and I believe it's the same one from the Logan timeline.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Pretty
what they
sure.
said. Mhm.
And then Elektra is like, "Yeah, Daredevil's dead. R.I.P. Ben
Yeah.
Affleck." You know,
Well, and that's just a reference to them being divorced now,
right, right, right.
but,
Um,
I mean, I think this movie's good. I think the only thing I will say, like, we've seen now the Wolverine character so many times be like, "I made a mistake and it cost everybody their lives." And I'm just kinda, like, over it. I I know the joke in this movie is that, like, "Oh, Hugh Jackman's gonna be Wolverine till he's dead."
this is
But
also the movie I think that put him over RDJ as most reoccurring character.
appearances as a character, yeah. I'd be okay if we took a break from Wolverine for a while.
He might
You
not
know what
get
I
one
mean?
until after Secret Wars,
I
unfortunately.
don't think I don't think we will, but yeah. Like I said,
Go.
I do enjoy this movie though. I think it's fun. I think visually it's really good. I think it's got a lot of I mean, obviously the Deadpool movies alone are really good, and I think this did well in like bridging the gap between the Fox universe and the MCU
Yeah,
and
I
kind of
liked
bringing it all together.
I liked them using the TVA from Loki as like
Yeah.
the bridger.
Yeah. I agree.
I thought um Xavier's sister was a pretty decent villain for what it was
Yeah,
worth.
I agree.
Yeah. We got to
I
see
agree.
more it kinda like how you like that thing with Wanda with her, like, going in on people's, like, faces. She kinda did similar stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that was crazy.
I think it was a pretty cool example of, like, what an Omega level mutant could do.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, if Xavier was bad, this is what he'd be capable of.
Right. We got the Juggernaut.
Oh my god,
I'm the
yeah, Juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. This
Uh,
movie also we only have, like, 20 seconds, but this movie also references the fact that, like, the new Blade movie is stuck in, like, production,
I
like,
was thinking that too.
you know what I mean? Because
Only ever will be
uh,
one blade.
and then Deadpool just looks at the screen like, "Yeah, I mean, probably."
Yeah, you might be right.
Where do we wanna throw Deadpool, Wolverine shots?
It's really enjoyable. It's just it really
I
is
know.
like a hogposh of like it's hypocritical to say that about this, not about No Way Home, like of just cameos and everything. But like you said, they do it well.
I think they're able to accomplish it a little better in my opinion.
I think if it wasn't the fact that it was a Deadpool movie, I don't think it would have worked.
I know. Well,
But
that's
just
the thing.
the nature of that character.
Right.
Um, I don't know. Do we throw it? I don't think it's S tier. Do you? Do you
Right.
think it's S tier?
I think if it
Would it
was, it'd
be
be at, like, the bottom of S tier. I'm okay with, like, the top of A tier, though.
above Spider-Man?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, throw it there.
Alright.
A tier is getting kind of thick.
A tier getting pretty thick. Alright. Captain America: Brave New World. This is a movie that I know just from, like I said, I really, like, enjoy, like, seeing the sort of, like, behind the scenes, the production stuff. I know this movie went through a lot before it came out. There were a lot of reshoots. There were completely, like, different arcs and characters that never got included. Um, Basically, you have Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson, who's coming into his own as Captain America. He now has his own Falcon, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah,
Um, and he's dealing with Thunderbolt Ross, and he's now the president. He's also the Red Hulk now.
Harrison Ford,
Um,
baby.
Harrison Ford. Um, you know, it's a shame because I think this movie was going for more of like Captain America Winter Soldier,
Yeah,
and it just
especially at the beginning of it.
it's not it. It's just not it. It it does not live up to that at all for me.
I I hate like the comparison of him and Steve Rogers, but like he really just isn't Steve Rogers. And this movie
Yeah,
even kind of addresses that. Like there's a
right.
point in the movie he's like, I should have just taken the serum.
Right.
And then we get the cameo of Bucky, and he's like, why do you need it?
Yeah.
Why do you think you
Yeah.
need it?
Right.
But I'll
Yeah.
definitely say it would have helped. There's so many scenes that like you know, like I think
I'll definitely
about
say, my boy, you should have done it.
I think back to the beginning with what's his face, the other super soldier after he tries to kill the president, and he just like
Yeah.
leaps from the top of the building, and Anthony
Mhm.
Mackie runs up and he looks over the balcony. He's like, "God dang it!" and just takes the
Right.
stairs. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't know.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Although watching
I
him
don't
beat
know.
like that giant guy at the beginning, like hand to hand combat, was pretty cool.
Sure, sure. I like I like that they chose Falcon as the new Captain America. I know Kim was very like, "Oh, I think it should have been Bucky for XYZ." I like the direction they're going with both of their characters. I think it gives Sam Wilson something to like he has to prove himself, and I
Right.
think it gives Bucky like the ability to be more like free roam kind of, and he's a congressman now. He's a big deal.
Well, was.
Right,
Um,
right.
I also think like watching I don't think again it's comparing him to Steve Rogers. I don't know if he'll ever be as saucy as Steve was, but some of the things he was doing while flying with the shield and like his little Red Falcon thing, really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
I think back to like when he was taking out the fighter jets.
Mhm.
his little sonic boom thing he did at the beginning of the movie was really cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. And of course, him becoming the new leader of the Avengers, or being offered it, I should say, because like
Right.
Harrison Ford comes up to him, he's like, "I want you to start the Avengers up again. I think the world needs them."
Right.
Obviously, different with rules set in place to prevent what happened last time,
Yeah.
but I want you to do that. And of course, he
Mhm.
doesn't. He's thinking about it. He doesn't give a yes or no at the time, but
Mhm.
we know what ends up happening.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good movie. I think it's a shame that it went through so much reshoot hell. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Red Hulk stuff was some of the better things. It's just a shame there was so little of it.
I was gonna say it's just not enough, and I think the story itself was like very meh to me. Um, I personally, I think I would put this at like the top of C tier.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
It's also a
you
shame,
agree?
like, they butchered Brainiac.
Oh my god, yeah, I forgot Brainiac is even like a thing.
Like, they brought this character back after 12
Like I
years,
was gonna
and
say so
especially
long.
seeing, like, the concept art of, like, designs of, like, what he was supposed to look like, and then
Yeah,
they went with this like, I thought we were steering away from, like, the hyper realistic,
right.
like, "Oh, well, this is what a hero or villain will look like in the real world," and I thought we were going
Yeah,
back more to comic book accuracy, and then they pulled that.
right.
I just hope, like, maybe he'll get, because he's still alive, maybe he'll get hit with more gamma and become more accurate. I don't know.
They'll do it again.
Do it again.
So
And then you get, at the end of it, the end scene credit, he's talking to Brainiac, and he's basically like, "I have all" he basically says, "I'm so smart, I've done the calculations, there's other multiverses, and something's gonna happen,"
right.
which is Sam's first, like, glimpse into what's going to happen with Doomsday and
Yeah,
Secret Wars.
right.
I feel like this is the turning point, I think, and it's a shame because it's right at the end of Phase 5, but, like, the turning point of them kinda getting everything back in line to what their next steps are.
Sure. Yeah, because now they've dealt with the whole Kang thing, and now they're like, okay, we now have direction. Let's start heading in that direction.
Right. But, yeah, I'm cool with, what'd you say? Top? Yeah, top
Top
of
of
C.
C.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
cool with it.
All right. Cool.
And then
All
that
right.
leaves us with Thunderbolts, the last of Phase 5,
Thunderbolts colon the new Avengers.
the new Avengers. The
I
first
think this
time in
movie.
history that a
Mhm.
title has been updated.
Right, but yeah, I think this movie would have done better if they just called it the new Avengers.
You think
Um,
so?
be, yeah, because I this movie really people didn't see this movie because nobody knew who the Thunderbolts were. A lot of these characters came from some of the shows, and people were very meh on the shows. Like I don't know about you, shots. I didn't really love Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought that was very meh.
It was the
Um,
weakest out of all of them, I thought.
yeah, but that was another one that had all these like reshoot like problems and stuff like that. But then you have like Yelena and the Red Guardian. They came from the Black Widow movie, which a lot of people were very meh about. Um,
Hawkeye was really good though with Yelena in it.
for sure, for sure. But like you, Taskmaster, and she's spoiler, she dies
In
20
the
minutes into this
first
movie.
10 minutes, yeah.
Right.
You have
Um,
Ghost from
oh yeah,
Ant-Man,
I forgot Ghost was in this movie. Yeah, Ghost is part of the Thunderbolts.
and then you have Bucky, which is, Bucky.
Bucky, and then US Agent. And
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Which, I mean, let's be honest, right? Who are the 3 most important people? Probably Yelena,
mhm,
John Walker, and
yep.
then you could say Red Guardian and Bucky were kinda tied, I would say, because Bucky comes, like, in the 3rd act.
Yeah, yeah. I
I feel
liked
like
this
that's
movie.
fair.
I think this movie I liked that this movie was kind of grounded in dealing with, oh god, like, is it? like depression and like anxiety. Um, Kind of the villain of this movie. Um, he his
Bob.
whole thing is like, yeah, he's like depressed, but he gains these powers and he's able to like, you know, when he's in like the I think he's the void was his name.
Yeah, Sentry in the Void.
Yes, yes. When he's Sentry, he's a hero, he's good and everything. When he's the Void, he's flattening people on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh my god, this guy is terrifying."
Is it crazy to say he's the most powerful villain that we've seen since Thanos?
Um,
That a crazy claim?
I don't know if it's crazy. He certainly has the most potential, I think, outside of like Deadpool and Wolverine's like villain.
Right.
Um, but either way, like I did enjoy Thunderbolts. I am sad it didn't do better because I thought, if the MCU is going to like handle topics like depression and anxiety and things like that, I thought this was a really good way to do it.
I thought that scene with Yelena too, and like her and her father kind of coming back together was really well done.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel bad for Yelena
I really
throughout the
do.
MCU because she's like, now I'm alone. Now, you know, I haven't had anybody around me for so long. And
You don't call me.
right.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Um, what do you think of Shots? I feel like this is a B tier. That's my initial thought, at least.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was
Sure.
like kind of a breath of fresh air.
I agree.
And honestly, like the revelation that this was an Avengers movie was like crazy to me. I was like,
Right.
'cause I will disagree. And I think like I get what you're coming from. Like it would have drawn people in, but
For
it's not
sure.
the first time that we've had a no name, nobody, whatever, and it's created
Right.
love for that character or
For sure.
characters.
For sure.
So I think it kind of draws back to what we were talking about earlier with like, oh well, it's just gonna be on Disney Plus in 3 months, so I'm just not gonna
Yeah.
like bother. Um,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I thought the plot was plotty enough to satiate the brain. I
Hmm.
really liked
Hmm.
the dynamic between Yelena and Bob.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed John Walker's like uh
His like little mini redemption arc
yeah,
that
that's
he
yeah.
tries to go through.
And I think some of the feats he does in this movie are like absurd. I was
Sure.
like, geez. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like Ghost was very underutilized.
Yeah.
She does some cool stuff, but then instantly gets, put out commission because of sound waves.
Hmm.
um, and I thought it was funny. I can't remember what her name is, but the chick that basically set them all up against each other,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
her kind of getting like held by a leash at the end. He's like, "We own you now."
Right.
I love that. And of
Yeah.
course, the end scene credit where it skips a year or two, and they're getting sued for copyright by Sam Wilson for
Yeah.
ownership of the Avengers name.
That's weird.
And
That's weird.
they're back in the Avengers Tower. Bob still has no control over his powers again. John Walker is
Right.
still walking around with his taco shield. And
Hmm.
then also one of my favorite Bucky designs, I think, during the end there. It looks
Oh
really
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
And then you get the teaser of the next movie we're going to talk about, the ship from Fantastic Four coming in,
Yeah. Yeah.
which didn't we still have no idea how that works because that doesn't relate to what happens in that movie at all.
Yeah. It's got to be related to either Secret Wars or Doomsday or something.
Right. I think personally, based off of what you think, it's not
Mhm.
like bottom of A, at least like somewhere higher B,
Yeah, I was thinking like honestly, I could go top of B, to be honest.
top of
Like
B.
looking at everything, yeah. I think ironic for me to say this, but like this is a movie that could have done with a little more fleshing out of all the characters. It could have done with a little more time. and I would have liked to see like that one scene where they all have their like little like memory flashbacks. I think we could have should have seen all of them, not just Yelena's, but you know, to
Right.
each their own. All right. Fantastic
Pick
Four.
for the first movie of Phase 6.
I herald the beginning.
I herald
I
your end.
your end. I
I herald
herald
Galactus.
Galactus. This is
Bars.
recency bias, but God, this movie's so good.
This movie is excellent. It broke the curse.
It it's broken the curse. I really enjoyed. First of all, I liked that we didn't have to see their origin again. They did enough to like if you don't know their origin, like you
Yeah,
kind of got to see it.
it was kind of cool, like a little tribute, like because we start the movie and this is the fourth year of Fantastic Four, and it's
Yes,
like we want to honor them with a celebration, and it gives you a little like videology of them like getting on a rocket and getting hit by the rays, which you don't really see,
right.
but it's just enough. It's just enough to tell you what's up.
I think too. So like up until this point, every time Marvel's like talked about the multiverse, it's kind of been like, hey, this is this universe, but it is like it's 1 degree off of, like, the universe that you know, and it's kind of everything's the same. This is the first time where I truly feel like the MCU is like, "Hey, not only is this a different universe, but, like, this universe is so different and so distinct from the MCU that, like, it's got its own vibe, it's got its own, like, aesthetic." I really like the '50s or sorry, the '60s slash, futuristic aesthetic that this movie has.
Right.
I really like the dynamic between the 4 of them.
And I'm pretty sure they're
Um,
the only heroes
yeah, I think it's just the
in
Fantastic
Bucket.
Four, and that's it. Um, I I really enjoyed it. I think everything was done really well. I like that Mr. Fantastic's power is more of his brain than it is like the stretching. They focus on that a lot more, which I
I know
appreciated.
one of the complaints with this movie is it seems like his stretching is kind of nerfed compared to like prior.
Sure.
And it might be, but it's also you gotta remember this is the first 4 years of their existence. Maybe
Yeah.
he's never had a reason to like
Push himself
really
to his
push on
limit.
himself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because
We
like literally,
finally
like Stu, same thing with her. She pushes herself
yeah.
far beyond wherever she thought she could do, and she
Mhm.
dies because of it.
Right. Right. Um we finally get a good on-screen Galactus. He's not a fart cloud like he is in the old Fantastic Four movies.
God, I thought
But
they did a
like,
good job with him.
so to your point earlier, um, I think it's we've come so far in comic book movies where like if you remember the first like X-Men movie, they all wore like the black suits and everything. They didn't really look like their comic book counterparts because like it wasn't cool to like lean into the comic bookness.
Right,
We finally reached a point in superhero media and like just the way we're able to like show and like CGI has come so far that like it finally makes sense to lean into like the comic book side of things.
right,
Cause like Galactus in this movie, he doesn't look silly. He looks intimidating. He looks like intentionally he's this giant like monster who he's gonna devour your planet. Like he's gonna drain all the energy from it. And that's
right.
terrifying. Um yeah, I this movie's so good.
So,
I I'm inclined to put it at like the bottom of S tier, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I like it more than what we have up there. I mean,
Right.
there's arguments that could be made, I'm sure, but yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Franklin, Johnny.
Yeah.
I think the thing was a little underutilized. There was a few plot points I think could have been fleshed out more.
I didn't love that he also like if we're leaning into the silliness of it, I don't love that he's like, I don't want to say it's clobbering time. What are we doing? Like just that's fine. That's fine.
Also, the Human Torch never says "flame on" in the entire movie.
You know, yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
whatever.
I mean, Sue stole the show.
Sue stole the
Vanessa
show. Franklin
Kirby.
stole the show. Yeah, I
Um,
thought I thought doing the movie around Franklin Richards was interesting, but I thought they handled it well, and I'm excited to see the way they set up Doom at the end of this movie in the post credit scene. I thought was good. I'm
yeah,
interested to see where we go from here as like a cinematic universe.
yeah. I'm interested to see like how far they've developed themselves because there's another time skip for the
Yeah,
Fantastic Four,
right.
and like you said, like we have the setup for next movie, Doomsday, or whatever.
Hmm.
You know, him being in the house with Franklin seeing his face.
Hmm.
It's kind of exciting.
It's kind of exciting,
Like I don't want to get my hopes up, but like
right?
Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, you know,
Hmm.
I've heard good things about that Daredevil. I've heard Agatha is really good. Like the
Yeah,
last quarter of last year and the beginning of this year have been bangers.
we're so back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so back.
Headphone warning. Thank God. But yeah. Um well, shots, we did it. We ranked the entire
That's
MCU.
it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments what you think. Do you agree with our rankings? Do you disagree? Are we total jabronis for thinking that we have some movies in certain spots?
Do you guys
Should
think Thor should be in S tier?
Thor the Dark World?
Of
You're
course.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know if you think that. I genuinely want to know.
Let me hear your arguments to why Thor should be higher than D tier.
Let me hear your arguments in the comments. But um until next time, flame on, you know?
It's clobbering time, baby. We are so back.
We are so back. Thank you for joining us and have a great day, of course.
Later, peeps.
I I really enjoy Shang-Chi.
This
I
is a
think oh,
good movie.
hang on, we're gonna pause 1 second. My wife has entered the room.
Kimberly,
She brought me some more nectar. She's flipping us
sponsored.
off. She's flipping us off. Thank you, dear. Oh, she's flipping me off specifically.
That's right.
Let's crack open a cold one. Ready? Ready?
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, baby.
For the audience at home, that was a crisp Dr. Pepper
Crispy.
Cherry Zero.
We're gonna cut all this. We'll restart.
Okay.